Good morning. It's Sunday morning, March the 30th. I stayed home this morning instead of getting up and going to church. I woke up with a really bad headache this morning, so thought that I would take the opportunity to just try to drink a lot of water and feel better. I have some plans this afternoon. Going to see the Great Comet, a production of the Great Comet, Natasha Peer and the Great Comet in Elizabeth City, and really excited about that. So thought, let me just take it slow and easy this morning. I'm coming off of this week, 2 days of being ill, staying out of school for being ill, and so my body's still trying to kind of recover and rest. But I wanted to talk about a CPB this morning, and it is called, it's the classic, it's the Mo Williams, who both wrote and illustrated this. And, there's several in this series, but Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. And I know that's a favorite of a lot of people. It was actually a Caldecott Honor book, so that's thus the Silver Seal when it came out. And let's see, what year was that? 2003. So this is a little over 21 years. 24 actually. It's coming up on its 25th anniversary, I guess, in 2026. Let me show you the end pages. I'm always just amazed at the end pages. So you can see we've got the pigeon over here thinking, obsessing, as we know, and then the end page, the pigeon has hit on a new obsession, a tractor trailer. So he's really wanting to drive. Like the back too. Finally, a book you can say no to. Will you let him drive? So I wanted to talk a little bit about this book and how I think I'm going to be using it. Well, first state that I feel like I've been in a season where I'm on a bus being driven by a pigeon. In many respects, I'm not just talking about one way, but, just a crazy kind of drive and thinking, man, how did this pigeon get into that position? It's because somebody said yes, right? But I'm going to contextualize a little bit. I've been having discussion. My father has been in town since Friday to help out for a few days with some things some challenges I've been facing and here around the house and whatnot. And we were having a discussion, actually, I guess it was yesterday morning, about advice and advice giving. And I was sharing with him that one of the areas that I'm coming maybe to realize as I gain age and maybe some maturity, maybe perhaps some wisdom with it, is that I'm trying to be more selective about whom I take advice from. And there are a lot of verses about that, in Proverbs I'm thinking about, but at the same time, to balance that with not being so arrogant and obstinate that I don't listen. I kind of am at this place where I believe that to, earn the right, I guess, to give advice to somebody is that you need to be there in some way. You need to be invested in that person's life in some way. Because I know we've all had experiences with unsolicited advice, and those people that, just feel free to tell you what they think and you didn't ask. And that's an area that I will say that I struggle with. Not just only as receiver, but perhaps as giver as well. And learning when is the right time versus when is the right time to actually speak to somebody with advice that you see is going through something or hard time or challenge or has a problem. And when is the time to be quiet? So that's kind of where I am personally right now. But I was thinking about this because this is a humorous look at argument, but it also kind of speaks to Victor Frankenstein who did not take advice. I mean, he was offered advice, really in many formats. He didn't take his professor's advice. He did not listen to his friend Henry Clerval. I don't think even at some points that he even listened to his own conscience. But pursued, as he's trying to balance, his pursuit of glory, his pursuit of discovery, which in itself is not necessarily bad, but when you go to such limits, it can lead to consequences that are undoable. And so I think there's definitely a lesson in there. Should he have taken the advice and considered it and listened to it and followed it? And, that looking at the outcome, the tragedy, the trauma of Frankenstein, it might be easy to say, well, yeah, he made a mistake. He should have listened to advice. Although sometimes it requires that us letting that pigeon drive the bus for us to learn a personal journey. But if you're looking here at the first, the title page, but over on the end or on the side on the spread, we've got the bus driver, which sets the context of the book. Hi, I'm the bus driver. Listen, I've got to leave for a little while, so you can watch things for me until I get back. Thanks. Oh, and remember, don't let the pigeon drive the bus. And so I love that this book is a great example to point out to students of breaking that fourth wall, where the writer breaks the fourth wall and addresses that metalepsis, if you will, of addressing and speaking to the audience directly. And of course, the pigeon does that throughout, right? We've got, I thought he'd never leave. So you have to kind of think about audience a lot. Who is the pigeon talking to? And what is the pigeon's approach with the audience, and starts off very calmly. Hey, can I drive the bus? Right? Kind of waiting to see what the audience says. And so you've got this whole thing, please, can I drive the bus? I'll be careful, which reminds me too of course, the first thing that people think about are kids asking their parents, and if you wear them down. And by the way, that doesn't stop just at when they're young. That works all the way up. I've seen that. Even though I'm not a biological parent, I see that sometimes even with some students, that, the idea that if through the years that if you keep asking a teacher, you'll wear him or her out until they finally say yes. And sometimes sometimes it's fatigue at saying no. No, I said no. But I love how this pigeon starts to set his argument, right? I'll tell you what, I'll just steer. My cousin Irv drives a bus almost every day. And so I love how how this pigeon starts developing the argument and starts applying to both, logic, logos, and pathos. So even though it's the audience's responsibility to vet, this evidence, what he's offering, why he should be able to drive the bus. So we've got, this is a true story, true story. So he's speaking to the veracity of it, the pigeon, and vroom, vroom, vroomy, vroom, vroom, pigeon at the wheel. So we're recreating, the experience to see what it would be like. And so I'm thinking about all the different aspects of argument. Appealing. No, I never get to do anything. So then we're appealing to guilt, right? Hey, I've got an idea. Let's play drive the bus. So now we're going to go in through trickery. I'll go first because you don't realize what I'm doing, right? Come on, just once around the block. Okay, we're going to shorten it. So, and then I love this spread here, right? As we go through each reason, I'll be your best friend. How about I give you $5? No fair. I bet your mom would let me. What's the big deal? It's just a bus. I have dreams, Fine. So as each approach is used unsuccessfully, it heats up in terms of the tone, and to the point that we get, the breakdown, obviously, of the pigeon his temper tantrum. Let me drive the bus, you know. So we're just pure emotion at that point, insisting on his or her way. And then, you know, after kind of exhausting himself, I love it that we can't even say the words at that point. Just devastated. Which you have to wonder about the commitment level of the pigeon, because the bus driver comes back and says, hey, I'm back. You didn't let the pigeon drive the bus, did you? Great, thanks a lot. And of course the pigeon sees, uh-oh, and so moves, and the bus takes off with the bus driver in the driver's seat until the pigeon hits on a new idea, right? Oh, hey, and a new idea, and moves on very quickly. So anyway, we're going to look at argument with this, and we're going to also look at this idea that this Mo Williams does a brilliant technique with the metallipsis, breaking that fourth wall to really get a close look at what that pigeon is asking, all the types of argument that he's trying, the appeals that he's trying to make to the audience to get him what he wants. And we're going to also look at it, though, from the audience's perspective in the context of Victor. When do we listen to advice? And when do we know, no, stay away from that? So that's kind of how I'm looking at this. And I'm excited about, as I'm kind of working out, you know, fleshing out more specifics with this. But I think that the students will enjoy this. This is a favorite of some of the students. It's one that they definitely remember from their elementary school years. And again, it'll give another technique as well with the metallipsis. So, all right. Have a great day and be blessed.